My name is M.Karthik and I have authored a book called The Invisible Hand of God. This book is available in all major bookstores across the world. It is also available in many online bookstores. This presentation, A Critical View of Modern Science, is the first section of the book Invisible Hand of God. In this presentation, I have presented an alternate view of modern science. If you see the first slide, there is a small figure at the bottom which is me, which denotes me, and there are all the scientists listed at the top. The presentation is based on three major premises. The first premise is that it is love which is common throughout the universe. It is love which holds the nucleus of the atom together. In the nucleus of the atom, even though there are positively charged particles, it is love which binds the nucleus together. It is love which holds us on earth. It is not gravity, but it is love which holds us on earth. And it is love, if tapped smartly, would propel our spacecrafts, would propel our machines, would propel our aircrafts, and so on. The second premise is that the universe is without a beginning or ending. The universe began infinite years ago and will continue to exist infinite years hence. The third premise is that the universe has infinite intelligence and has a single collective consciousness, and this consciousness has been referred to as Brahman in Hindi, in Vedic scriptures. Now, the purpose of human life is to connect our individual consciousness to this universal consciousness. And how it can be done has been described aptly in the book. So let us go ahead and see this presentation. As said earlier, I have authored the book Invisible Hand of God. Please buy a copy of the book. It will provide new insights into a lot of many things. Thank you. As indicated earlier, this presentation gives you an alternate view of modern science. It does not say that science is wrong, but shows the direction in which it could evolve in future. This presentation must be read in conjunction with another presentation called The Promises of Golden Era, and if my theory that love is a common thing in the universe and love exists in nucleus of an atom and love holds on earth and love can be tapped smartly to run everything, if all these premises become true, then all the promises that has been shown in the presentation, promises of Golden Era, would become true. Don't know if all these things make sense or it's right or wrong, but at least it's an interesting viewpoint. I have been researching all this for the past 7 years and have humbly presented my views. Earth will see a new cycle from 2012. This has been predicted by different sources, and a new Yuga, or what is called as Satya Yuga or Golden Era or Yuga of Truth, is going to approach, and there should be a new meaning to everything. I like questioning and inquiring things and have presented a new point on almost all possible theories. You don't need any science background to understand this presentation. You should just appreciate the basic laws of science. This presentation has been written in very simple English. Hope you enjoy this presentation and give me your valuable feedback. Even if you feel it's total nonsense, please let me know so that I'll be convinced that this is wrong. I have drawn some patents for moving everything by pleasure of love. If luck permits and if God permits, these patents might just work out and things would be fine. I have put 0 and infinity in the bottom of the presentation. 0 and infinity are the true gods or ultimate gods, and as already said, they have a single consciousness, and the purpose of life is to connect to this single consciousness. So if Satyuga approaches on earth on 2012, we will see a new meaning to everything. This is the first section of the presentation, which is called as dynamics of motion. In this, basically, Sir Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton have been discussed, and the basic premise remains the same, that love is a common thing across the universe. This point has been a subject of debate for quite some time. Initially it was thought that ether was common throughout the universe. Then it was thought that there is nothing that is common throughout the universe. Then it was thought that there is some small particle which is common throughout the universe. But it is my belief that it is love which is common throughout the universe. It is love which holds the nucleus of an atom together, even though there are positively charged protons in the nucleus, and it is love which holds us on earth. It is not gravity but love which holds us on earth, and this love has to be very smartly tapped to run everything. How is a very big question, and when it will happen is also another big question, but only time will say whether I am right or wrong, and time will say whether these things will happen or will not happen. This slide discusses Sir Isaac Newton's law of gravity. Now you will see a small image on top of the slide which shows that when an apple actually fell on Sir Isaac Newton's head, he thought that it must be gravity that must be pulling earth, or he thought that something must be pulling the apple down, and he termed it as gravity. And then he developed a famous equation which is the gravitational force between two bodies. Now this gravitational force essentially depends directly on mass of the bodies, which means that if mass of the body is larger means the force is larger, and this gravitational force inversely depends on the distance between the two bodies. This is very crudely said. I mean, the equation is slightly more involving, but if the distance between the two bodies is larger, then the gravitational force is also the force is also very less. Now my argument is against this is like this. Now if you see my younger days, a lot of people said, do you realize the gravity of situation? Then in my elder days, a lot of my bosses said, do you realize the gravity of your mistake? I basically asked the question, why should something with such negative meaning pull us on earth? We always say, look at the gravity of the problem, look at the gravity of the situation, look at the gravity of the issue. Why should something such negative meaning exist between matter? Why should such which negative meaning pull us to earth? I think it is love which exists between matter, and it is love which holds us on earth. Now what would have a God like Jesus Christ said to the whole point? He would have said, you might just have a point, and it could be love which exists between matter, and it could be love which holds us on earth. Why is there need for pulling and pushing? Why is there need for troubling? It is a need for lovingly leading everything, including matter. And love knows no equation, simply attracts and holds everyone. Now the bottom of the slide again I have put Sir Isaac Newton again, and what he would have said to the whole argument would be that I could be right, I don't know, it's a very difficult question. He discovered that something exists between matter, he called it as a force, and I am calling it as love. Now who is right? If machines move by love, and if machines could be led by pleasure of love, then I am right, otherwise I am wrong.